Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. What's going on? Matt Bove.
Mercedes Wilson.
And Autumn Lewandowski here.
We hope that you are having a great holiday, surrounded by people you love,
Yes.
friends, family, whatever you are doing to celebrate the day. We've got some treats here. We'll talk about that. Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always has been.
It's my second.
Is
Christmas
Christmas
is my
was one?
first. Thanksgiving is my second.
How about you?
Thanksgiving is my first.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Thanksgiving's my first. There's a lot of layers to it. I love Thanksgiving because sometimes my birthday falls actually right on Thanksgiving. My birthday was yesterday. So
Well,
my birthday,
happy birthday.
yeah, thank you.
Happy
So my birthday is
birthday.
November 27th. So sometimes it falls right on Thanksgiving. So it was always kind of like a built-in, that's what you're doing for your birthday.
Yeah.
So growing up, my birthday was not its own thing. It was always tied to Thanksgiving. But I liked that because you were by your your friends and family.
Yeah.
It
Right.
always felt like, you got this big fancy meal and it
Right.
was for your birthday.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't always just pies and cookies and stuff afterwards. It was also cake. So
Yeah,
there
that
was
was
like
going to be my question. Did
Yeah.
you ever get the cake? Or they were like, no, look at all these pies.
No, my our thing was that my aunt home makes an unbelievable ice cream cake, and that's what I
Ooh.
always
Oh,
wanted.
nice.
So that was always my thing. My favorite dessert, probably of all time, is apple pie. So it would be a sliver of apple pie, and then it would be a piece of the ice cream cake. That would be my go-to.
That's a good birthday, man.
Yeah,
right
it's a
around
good birthday.
Thanksgiving, it's a good birthday.
Yeah, it's a good birthday, and I always kind of liked, it felt like the holidays became even more special.
Yeah.
Now you also lump everything together, right? It's like Thanksgiving, birthday, Christmas all happens in less than a month, which is pretty crazy, but it's my favorite time of the year. So that's why it's always been just slightly above Christmas, even though Christmas is pretty great.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Yeah, apple pie is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother's, and also her chocolate pie, which is what I've been attempting to make. So you'll have to taste it and let me know what you think. But yeah, Thanksgiving is probably hands down my favorite. Just growing up with it, my grandmother would always set the table for the 30 of us that were a
Wow.
part of
30
the
people?
It was a lot of
Wow.
people.
Oh, wow.
She had 4 kids, and then there were 15 grandkids, and then 16 grandkids, and then all of our friends would come over, and my parents' friend, her siblings, my parents, and all of their friends would end up at my grandmother's house, and
That
it'd be
is so
something
cool.
that till midnight or even after, people were always over my grandparents' house. Now they also do Thanksgiving late. We would never eat till 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard somebody
Yeah,
who eats
we'd
that
always
late
do
for
it late. So
Thanksgiving.
I would go there when I was younger. I would go there and I'd put, cream cheese and celery and, do the relish trays and help with all of that. And then we'd
Is
just
that what
spend
y'all
the
would do
evening
throughout
there.
the day? The relish trays and all that throughout the day?
I mean, it doesn't take that long to do any of that, but I would always go in earlier and see what she needed help with. And most of the time, all the place settings were already out and whatnot. So I saw the love of giving to her family, seeing it through my grandmother's eyes, and I just kind of embrace that.
Yeah.
And now I selfishly have my in-laws and my parents over my house, so we don't have to go anywhere. Everyone can just come to us and enjoy it. And it's just, I just love it. I love everything about. I love the meal
Yeah.
and the desserts. But
What
yeah.
time do y'all eat?
I'm inviting everyone at 4:30.
So coming over at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
What time? So you'll still eat at 6 then, right? Or do you eat right
Probably.
away?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty late.
Yeah.
That's pretty
But I
late.
have people coming from other spots as well.
So they've already
Oh,
eaten.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some
So
people have
some
eaten.
people have already done
People
their
have
first.
eaten at 1 or 2.
I would
Yes.
be those people.
So then you would eat
Yeah.
again at my house.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. What do you guys do?
So I normally host, and it's not 30 people. It's more like 10.
Yeah, I
between
have
7 and 10.
26 people.
Woo. I wouldn't even know how to cook for that many people.
I think you'd manage.
So woo.
Yeah.
I think you'd manage.
One
just
big
a,
bird.
Just a hunch. I
One
think
big
you'd
bird,
manage.
yeah. And we eat, I'm not going to lie, we eat at noon.
Whoa, that's crazy early.
No, we eat at noon, 2, 4,
Yeah.
and 6.
Just keep eating throughout
Yeah,
the day.
because it's games on TV.
Yeah,
It's the-
yeah.
So we're eating at noon, man.
Uh-huh.
We're eating. Growing up, my aunt, we used to eat at 4, and we were always like, "Can we please eat?"
Mhm.
And she was just busy cooking, and I'm like, "I'm never gonna do that."
Mhm.
Noon.
Yeah.
What about you?
So we do this year. My mom always hosted, my parents always hosted Thanksgiving forever. And then it changes a little bit when you get married and now we have a daughter. It's like, okay, how do you divide and conquer this? What we used to do is my wife's family would all actually go out to eat for like a brunch on Thanksgiving morning. So we would start the day there and then we would go to my parents' house and then we would have Thanksgiving there. We would probably eat like 3:30, 4 o'clock would kind of be like the range where we would eat at my parents' house. Then you would just really chill for a couple hours. Then we would do desserts. And then when we were younger, a bunch of us used to go Black Friday shopping. Now we would not do we wouldn't do like the lineup thing at like try and get a TV, but we would go to the mall. We would go to like some of the places where you didn't have to like go fully on crazy, but you could go and still kind of get the experience. So that's what we always did kind of growing up as I was a younger adult. Now though, we go to my mom's house and then we'll go to my wife's side of the family. We did last year the hosting, so it was like bringing everybody together. But it's with our daughter now, like she has taken over the house. Having that many people come over with just like the baby in her bedtime felt a little bit too intimidating. So my mom stepped up, so she's going to do it again. And then somebody on my wife's side of the family will also be hosting. So we're going to have to divide and conquer and figure it out, but it's okay. It's like they're enough spread out that we can go to my mom's house and be there for a couple hours. And everybody just wants to see the baby now. They don't really care
They
about
don't care
anything
about you.
They don't care about anything else. It's like, okay, let's have the food. We'll eat it. How's the baby do? And then we'll pack up the baby. We'll go to my wife's side of the family. We'll hang out there for a couple hours and then we'll pretty much call it a day.
See, that's a good day, though.
It is a good day. It's a busy day. That's the one thing, too. Nobody tells you. Like, holidays, when you get older and you have responsibilities, become, at times, really stressful because you're going in so many different directions. But there's also a lot of things to be really excited about, like all of these desserts that we brought.
So we'll have to
talk about them.
We'll try these in a little bit.
Yeah. Welcome back to Studio 7. Okay, so I'm super excited because during the break, we kind of divvied up some desserts that we brought for Thanksgiving because there's several dishes that none of us have tried before. So we wanted to give each other a taste of kind of like what will be at our tables for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Right? So I started with sweet potato pie. Neither of you have ever had sweet potato pie.
No.
But it is a traditional pie. I've grown up ever since I've been born. We've had sweet potato pie at our table.
Okay. So explain to me the difference between sweet potato pie and a pumpkin pie.
I don't know what's in a pumpkin pie. I've never had a pumpkin pie, but sweet
What?
potato. I've never had it.
You've never had a
Tell
pumpkin
me what's
pie?
in a sweet potato pie, and I'll tell you what's in a pumpkin pie.
There might be some similarities, but it's sweet potato baked with love
Okay.
Yes.
and some spices like some cinnamon, some brown sugars. I think you put the egg in there to help seal it together. But it's a lot of spices.
Okay.
Isn't that the exact same thing as a pumpkin pie, but instead of a sweet potato, it's pumpkin?
Pumpkin, you do the spices like your cinnamon. I think
Like
there's
nutmeg,
nutmeg, maybe some allspice. There is sweetened condensed milk in
There's none of that in
pumpkin.
this.
Okay, so this would be more savory than it would be sweet, I guess?
I think no, it'd be sweet.
No, it's sweet. It's
got
sweet.
brown sugar.
It's
and stuff,
sweet?
I would assume.
All right, so are we eating this like
Yes,
on camera?
absolutely.
That is like so unbelievably risky.
Why?
Just eating things on camera. You
I don't-
kind of do it for a living, and then you do the fair every year, so you kind of have to get good at it.
I don't like eating on camera, actually.
No,
but
it's like terrifying. I'm like
That's good.
terrified to take a bite.
Yeah. Now
It's a good flavor.
homemade I will say is a little better. I got this. This is Patty LaBelle sweet potato pie.
Okay.
But one of
it's
my
good.
favorites. One of my
It's
favorites.
good. Yeah, it's good.
You said it with such surprise.
I mean, I'm not like a big sweet potatoes to me. There's nothing wrong with sweet potatoes, but I don't really ever opt to get them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's other things I would rather have. That's actually really good. That's not what I was expecting. How would you compare it to a pumpkin pie? For us newbies
I mean,
here.
I don't like pumpkin pie, but I make it every year.
Because those around you love it.
Pumpkin just tastes like pumpkin. It's probably a little bit more. There might be more spice in pumpkin. Or maybe this one just isn't how you normally make it. Maybe there normally is. I don't
It's
know.
very similar.
Yeah.
But
That's delicious. I'm
Yeah,
actually
that's
very,
good.
very, very impressed
nice.
with that.
What do you think, Autumn?
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to go to the cookie?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. I not having a cookie because I already had one. These are just, let's call them like pumpkin vanilla cookies. I don't
They
exactly.
kind of smell like gingerbread.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of everything. It's like
And
a
your mom
mixture of
made
something.
these.
Oh yeah, I don't make that.
These are delicious.
Yeah, I don't know how to make them. My mom made them, and my mom brought them over, and she was like, "Oh yeah, bring these into work. Hopefully people like them." So My mom's like me. She's like doesn't sleep at normal times, so a lot of times she'll be up in the morning and she'll be like, "Oh, I just baked today. I'll do
This
something."
doesn't taste pumpkin-y to me.
What does it taste like to you?
Yeah.
Not pumpkin, like gingerbread.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I got like a pumpkin hint to it. This is not like a traditional Thanksgiving thing that we always have. It just is like, there's always a lot of things. We're Italian, right? So there's not like just one thing ever. There's always like 14 things, and it's just like a mix. So we grew up with like lemon squares and like snowball cake and like some of these like and like cucciatatis, like fig cookies.
All of those that are good.
So all of those that are good, but there was too many of them, and I was always just like, could we just have like a chocolate chip cookie? Like, is that too hard? Just like a chocolate chip cookie. And we never really had that. So we did have the ice cream cake, which was elite, but there is no shortage of options at our table for Thanksgiving.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. What the chocolate pie?
So the chocolate pie, I did not make the crust because I had an issue with
I didn't even
making
make
the crust.
any of the cookie, and you're like, I didn't make the crust. I made everything
No,
else.
this is my grandmother's recipe,
Okay.
and I've toyed around with different cocos for the chocolate part of the pie. So selfishly, I'm using this as learning curves in order to try to get it exactly the way that she makes it.
Oh my God.
Now, I can tell just by looking at it,
Oh my God.
this is a different cocoa.
Very
So
good.
it's lighter than what I think it should look like.
Holy moly. Alyssa, have you had this yet? Isn't that ridiculous?
Do you like
really
it?
good.
Here, let me taste it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's really good.
it tastes to me like a really, really, really good chocolate pudding
It
with
does.
the whipped cream on a
It
crust,
does.
right?
Yep, yep,
like
yep.
I'm sure that's kind of what it's going for.
Yep.
You're the one who made it. Does it taste? Is it up to your standard? Because this is really good.
Or is it up to grandma's standards?
I think it's not set as nice as it should. So maybe I got to figure that out. And it's a little more puddingy than I think a different cocoa would make it not as puddingy.
Okay.
But
You're your own worst critic because
I
this is
am.
delicious.
That's delicious. That is very, very good.
and that's her whipped cream. I mean, it's not hard to make whipped cream, but so that's homemade whipped cream.
Yeah.
But I would say it's not bad. Like no knocking my mother-in-law, but the way she makes chocolate pie is by making pudding and throwing it into a shell.
Sure.
That's not chocolate pie.
So what is this? What's different about this compared to that?
It's just from scratch. So you have cocoa. I can't remember.
That's delicious.
It
There's
is.
cocoa.
It
There's
is.
there's cocoa, sugar. There's egg yolks. Cornstarch to thicken it,
Yeah.
and then some vanilla, some butter.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own tradition. Everybody's got
Yeah.
their thing that they look forward to the most. I
This
think
is
these
good.
were all fantastic.
This is good.
You can't really put like a sweet in front of somebody and expect them not to like it, right? It's just
Yeah.
the different levels that you enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is really good, or oh my gosh, this is like the best thing I've ever had, basically.
Yeah. So I have to ask y'all before we go to break.
Not bad.
What is the perfect plate? The perfect plate for Thanksgiving, like I will tell you, mine is a couple slices of ham with cranberry sauce with homemade dressing and mac and cheese. What's the perfect plate for you?
For Thanksgiving?
That's a great question.
Okay.
You can go.
I don't even serve ham
I don't
for
know.
Thanksgiving.
You don't?
No, we
No.
don't either. We don't either.
Ham
Turkey.
Oh,
would
we do
be
ham and turkey.
with Christmas. No, it would be it's the entire Thanksgiving plate is my favorite. I love turkey. I love stuffing. I love mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, the French green bean
Yeah, green
casserole.
bean casserole. Yeah.
My in-laws do a really great squash, and then they have like a sweet potato bake. That's a little too sweet for me, but the whole thing.
All right. Well, drum roll, please. We have to go to a commercial.
Yeah.
So mine is going to be coming up after the break. You really want to hear this plate?
Welcome back to Studio 7. Okay, so right before the break,
Yep.
the perfect plate.
Yeah. I got to take. Everybody's sitting
Okay.
there getting ready to eat. Turkey is a waste of space.
No.
It's a waste of space.
Those are fighting words.
Those are fighting words. You eat it on Thanksgiving. It's protein. It's it's relatively.
You never
deep.
have a turkey sandwich after the fact?
That is
Those are the
different.
best.
That's different.
Those are the best.
That's
Okay.
next level. But the
So
day,
don't eat it
the
on your
actual
plate.
day of,
Okay.
I still do. Like,
Right.
it's my plate is going to have turkey and a couple different sides on it. but it's not worth it to me. Like, there's other things I would rather eat. I feel like the
All
sides are the star of the show, and the turkey is just like you need the main course. It is symbolic of Thanksgiving. It's the thing that everybody stresses out over. There's the Butterball hotline, right? Like, there's all these things that go with it. I just don't think turkey is that good. I think ham is way better than turkey. We just never grew up having ham, so we just always make the turkey.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not saying turkey with gravy isn't fine. It's good, right? Like, it is.
It's so good with all the other sides.
Exactly. And, like, I agree with you. The day after Thanksgiving food, way better than the day of Thanksgiving food. The leftovers you can make such an unbelievable, like, Thanksgiving leftover sandwich with homemade stuffing, with turkey, with like a little cranberry sauce, with mayo. Like, that is
Do you
so
notice how
good.
he's building this anticipation? Because
So
he still has not
yeah,
told us
what
his
is
plate.
on your plate. A sliver of turkey and
No, he said no turkey, right?
No, there will be turkey on the plate.
Okay.
I would say my mom always makes cheesy potatoes. So think of like a combo of like mac and cheese, but like scalloped potatoes, hash browns.
Love those.
She's always like made like some sort of concoction of that. To me, that kind of always resonates with like, oh, that's a Thanksgiving thing, even though it's not like super traditional. Her homemade dressing stuff, whatever it is. Like, I remember growing up. So, no free ads, but you're about to get a free ad. D. Camilla's Bakery. There's a bunch of them in Niagara Falls. Really good bakery. And she used to go buy like 4 or 5 large loaves of bread and just let them sit out and dry on the dining room table in the big silver pots or big bowls. And they would sit there, and like you'd walk by and you'd like pick a couple pieces of it and like eat it, and it would get all dried out, and like that's what you would use for I don't know the difference between stuffing and dressing. I think it was dressing because it doesn't go in the bird, right? That's the difference.
Well, I think everybody has gone away from putting it in the bird.
Okay, so we never did that, so I guess it would be dressing. So like her homemade dressing would be like half of the plate, and then the other half would be like some sort of the cheesy potatoes, and then just because I feel like you need something green on the plate, it would probably be like the green bean casserole. Although I have had Brussels sprouts a couple times on Thanksgiving, and Brussels sprouts slap if you know how to make them.
Right. Okay, what's the
Good
right
Brussels
way?
sprouts
Because it's
are
true.
really, really good. Like roasted Brussels sprouts, they're like crunchy. If the consistency is right and the seasoning is good, you can have some unbelievably good Brussels sprouts.
Yes, you can. Yes, but they can go horribly wrong too.
They can go horribly wrong. And I always like find myself watching YouTube videos of the right way to cook Brussels sprouts. Some people say it's the face down. Some people say it's face up. There's like a bunch of science.
It's all in the bacon. It's all in the bacon you add.
Yeah. Did you say bacon?
It's all in the bacon.
Yeah, it's all in the bacon. So like, listen, I
throw bacon on mine.
I think that my perfect plate would probably be primarily dressing, and then the one thing that we have not accounted for is like biscuits and cornbread are so good. Like I'm a you can tell, like carbs are king.
Now see, I put cornbread in my dressing.
Okay, so we don't.
So
do that.
I don't make cornbread on the side because I use so much bread for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like even like dinner rolls, like dinner rolls are so good.
Oh my gosh, you sound like Alyssa. Alyssa's always talking about dinner rolls.
Dinner rolls are so good.
So the Italian side, my husband's side, they like the Hawaiian.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I do not like them at all.
They're so.
So you don't like sweet bread, or is it just those?
No, I don't like sweet bread.
They're
No.
so.
I don't like cornbread. No.
At all.
Wow.
No.
Well, then you wouldn't like my dressing because I use the sweet cornbread.
Yeah, I just don't like sweet in there. I'm more salty, savory. I buy these really awesome French baguette loaves from this. I just call her the bread lady because she is just amazing at making this. So I order a couple of those and then I'll slice them up. So you got regular, like just, it seems like it's from a bakery from France. It's delicious. And then you've got the Hawaiian rolls.
I have a weird I'm like sneaky superstitious. I just always have been.
Yeah.
And I've got like these weird things that I always need in the house that have no purpose to be in the house. I always need 2 boxes of like Jiffy cornbread mix in the house at all. Like I just have to have them in the cupboard. And this is the weird
You never
one.
know
like an
when you need to
emergency kit.
whip it up.
It's kind of like an emergency kit.
Yes.
I always have like a box of like just like stovetop stuffing or something in there.
You
like,
will never need a box of stovetop.
Probably not, but like if there's something if like for some reason something's going on, this is the weird one. You know the little cookies, the Pillsbury cookies that have like the logos on them? Like at Halloween, it's the ghosts. Alyssa's nodding her head. At Thanksgiving, it's the turkey. At Christmas, it's like Santa Claus. You know what I'm talking about?
They're like the hard
they're
cookies?
like little sugar cookies, basically. They come in
Okay.
like a box this big, and they go in the fridge.
So you go out and buy them every season?
Every
Oh,
season.
you mean, and you throw them into the oven?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Every season, I buy one and put it in the fridge just to have it. And I always
Do
tell
you ever
myself,
cook them?
most of the time, no. Most of the time, they just end up like not
Well,
even
you
getting
will
used.
because
With Ellie,
yeah,
that's going to be the
she'll
thing.
want to.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, Daddy, can we make the Santa Claus cookies or something? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. You know, they're like this
Yeah, you
big,
just
basically.
chop 'em
And you
up.
just chop them up and you put them on the thing. But for some reason, I've always just kind of had them there. And it's like, oh, you know, like if we need something, I just like one night throw in the oven. But I just always do it. I have no
It's
idea
a
why.
rescue kit. It's a food rescue kit.
Buddy,
I like it.
It's like written like sucker on my forehead. I'm just like, oh, you failed in the marketing. Like you have no idea how to contain yourself.
That is so funny. Well, we hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, this is
Yes,
the
yes,
start of the
yes.
best,
Stuff yourselves silly, everybody.
let's say the best stretch of a month of the year,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Just
Yes.
right, like just fastball after fastball.
I was going to
Thanksgiving,
say chaos.
Christmas
Just-
music, chaos, shopping, probably some snow, a lot
Yeah.
of things, but a lot of reasons to be excited.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye.